Have you ever watched someone walk into a room and change everything without saying much at all? The energy shifts. People straighten up a little. Conversations become warmer. There's a quiet magnetism about them. Not loud, not forced, just present. You find yourself wanting to be near them. You want even a small piece of whatever they're carrying. What is that quality? Why do some people seem almost immune to the negativity that drains everyone else? Were they simply born lucky, with some rare gift the rest of us missed? No. They have learned something fundamental about energy: how it is created, how it is protected, and how it is directed. Most people leak energy constantly throughout the day. They leak it through approval seeking, through endless complaining, through old resentments, through distraction, through drama, and through living almost entirely in the past or the future. High-energy people do the opposite. They treat their inner energy the way a careful person treats a limited resource. They have developed a set of living principles that keep their fire burning steadily, even on hard days. In this video, we're going to explore the 13 qualities that create that kind of presence, not as a checklist of personality traits you either have or don't, but as practical, trainable shifts. Each one can be awakened. Each one can be practiced. And when even a few of them take root, the way you move through the world begins to change. Let's start with the foundation. 1. They generate their own light. High-energy people do not wait for someone else to make them feel okay. They don't need a steady stream of compliments, likes, messages, or approval to feel full. They have learned how to become their own source. Think about how most of us operate. We check our phones for validation. We wait for the boss's smile, the friend's reply, the partner's attention. When those things arrive, we fill up. When they don't, our mood drops. That is a fragile way to live. It means the controls of your energy sit in someone else's hands. High-energy people have broken that dependency. They understand a simple truth. You cannot pour from an empty glass. You have to fill your own first. So they protect small, private rituals that genuinely nourish them. 15 quiet minutes with coffee before the world starts demanding things. A song played at full volume in the car. A walk with no destination. A hobby no one else understands, but that lights them up from the inside. These are not luxuries. They are the power plant. When you stop needing the external world to keep you running, something subtle but powerful happens. Neediness begins to leave your field, and the universe has a clear law. Neediness repels. Wholeness attracts. People who are complete on their own naturally draw other whole people toward them. The ones who only want to take energy can no longer get close, because your light unsettles their emptiness. You already carry a sun inside you. The first work is learning how to keep it lit without borrowing someone else's fire. 2. They refuse to enter the complaint swamp. You know these people. For them, the weather is always wrong. The economy is always collapsing. Other people are always disappointing. And life itself is fundamentally unfair. Their conversations are long inventories of grievances. They don't want solutions. They want company in the misery. This is the complaint swamp. And its most dangerous quality is that it tries to pull you in. When you offer a positive thought, they immediately find the flaw. When you suggest a way forward, they list 10 reasons it will fail. After 20 minutes with them, you feel heavier, dirtier, and strangely drained, because you stepped one foot into the mud and it stuck. High-energy people do not wrestle with the swamp. They know the old saying, if you wrestle with a pig in the mud, you both get filthy, but the pig enjoys it. So they simply walk around it. They set clean boundaries. They redirect the conversation, keep their real energy out of it, or politely end the exchange and leave. Not with cruelty, with clarity. Protecting your mental environment is not selfishness. It is the same principle as the oxygen mask on an airplane. Secure your own first, or you will be of no use to anyone. You cannot rescue people while you are drowning in their swamp. Your responsibility is to keep your own light intact. 3. They wear opportunity glasses. Most people move through life wearing problem glasses. These lenses are so dark they filter out almost everything except difficulty. Rain means ruined plans. A lost job means catastrophe. The end of a relationship means the end of the world. Wherever they look, they find obstacles and shortages. High-energy people wear a different pair of lenses, opportunity glasses. Through them, a rainy afternoon becomes permission to rest with a book and warm coffee. A lost job becomes a release from something that was never right and an opening towards something that might be. The end of a relationship becomes a classroom that teaches you more clearly what you actually need. This is not denial. It is not toxic positivity. It is the recognition that meaning is not fixed inside events. Meaning is created by the questions we ask. If you repeatedly ask your mind, "What's wrong here?" it will faithfully deliver hundreds of answers. If you ask, "What is the opportunity here? What is this trying to teach me?" the same mind begins searching for openings instead of evidence of failure. That single shift turns you from a victim of circumstances into someone who can transmute almost any situation into something useful. The darkest seasons often carry the deepest invitations for growth, if you are willing to look for them. 4. They put down the weight of the past. How much are you still carrying? The friend who betrayed you, the boss who treated you unfairly, the partner who broke your heart, the mistakes you made and still punish yourself for. These old stories sit on your back like heavy stones. You try to move forward, but they keep pulling you into the past. They consume energy every single day. High-energy people make a deliberate decision to set those weights down. This is the real meaning of forgiveness. It is not saying what happened was acceptable. It is not inviting the person back into your life. It is not pretending the pain never existed. Forgiveness is something you do for yourself. It is refusing to keep drinking poison while waiting for the other person to suffer. The only one being damaged by the resentment is you. They treat the past as a school, not a residence. You take the lesson, you graduate, and you stop repeating the same grade forever. Each time you return to an old wound and consciously release its hold, another chain falls away. Your back grows lighter. Energy that was locked in yesterday becomes available for building tomorrow. 5. They treat the body as non-negotiable. You can do all the inner work in the world, but if the body is exhausted, inflamed, poorly fueled, and chronically underslept, your energy will stay low. Body and mind are one system. High-energy people understand this at a practical level. They do not treat physical care as a luxury or a future project. They get the fundamentals right. They choose food that gives life instead of fog. They move their bodies regularly, not necessarily as athletes, but enough to keep circulation strong and endorphins flowing. Even a short walk can shift mood and clarity, more than most people expect. And they protect sleep as sacred recovery time, because every hour stolen from rest is an hour stolen from the next day's focus, patience, and vitality. Your body is the house your energy lives in. How you care for that house directly determines the quality of life you can sustain. Neglect it long enough, and even the strongest mind will eventually stumble. 6. They stay permanently curious. After formal education ends, most people stop learning in any real way. Their minds travel the same mental routes every day until the world begins to feel dull and repetitive. A mind that is not used begins to rust. Energy drops with it. High-energy people remain lifelong students. For them, the world is still an enormous playground. They learn new things for no practical reason at all. A handful of words in a new language, how a particular plant grows, a skill they've always been mildly curious about, a documentary about a culture they know nothing of. Each new pathway carved through the brain keeps the mind flexible and resistant to stagnation. They never fall into the quiet arrogance of, "I already know enough." Every person, every book, every experience still holds something they haven't encountered. This continuous openness gives them a childlike aliveness that does not fade with age. Their appetite for life stays sharp because every day still has the potential to reveal something new. 7. They live in the only moment that actually exists. Most people's energy is split between two non-existent places, the past and the future. They replay old conversations and regret what they said or did. Or they spiral through anxiety about what might go wrong tomorrow. The mind swings back and forth like a pendulum, and in all that motion, it completely misses the present, the only place life is actually happening. Past regret and future anxiety are two of the largest energy leaks available to a human being. High-energy people have learned to stop those leaks. They practice returning again and again to the present moment. They feel the breath moving in and out. They notice the contact of their body with the chair or the ground. They hear the sounds in the room without immediately judging them. This is not about stopping thoughts. Thoughts come and go like clouds. You are the sky. You can watch them pass without being carried away. The more they practice this return, the more energy stays available for the only moment that is real. And in that presence, they begin to notice the small, ordinary pleasures that were always there. The actual taste of coffee, the quality of a friend's laughter, the feeling of sunlight on skin. Happiness is largely the sum of these small moments. To collect them, you have to be here for them. 8. They give energy away freely. Here is one of the quiet paradoxes of energy. It multiplies when you give it. A single candle can light 1,000 others without its own flame growing smaller. The room simply becomes brighter. High-energy people have internalized this. They are not energy hoarders. They are channels. They give their attention fully when someone needs to talk. They share knowledge without calculating what they will get back. They notice small good things in others and speak them out loud. They express genuine gratitude to the people who make ordinary days possible. These acts send a clear signal. I have enough. I am living in abundance. And life tends to respond to that signal. People are naturally drawn to those who give freely. The person who operates from scarcity does the opposite, constantly calculating, extracting, absorbing. Over time, people quietly move away, and isolation grows. Giving, when it is clean and without hidden demand, is one of the most reliable ways to raise your own energy. It is also one of the simplest ways to inject meaning into an ordinary day. 9. They refuse to join the drama. Some people are deeply attached to crisis. Minor inconveniences become catastrophes. They are perpetually offended, perpetually in conflict, and perpetually recruiting others into their stories. Can you believe what they did? Whose side are you on? This is manufactured drama, and it is one of the most efficient energy traps that exists. High-energy people can distinguish between a real difficulty that needs support and a performance that only wants an audience. They stay calm. They stay out of sides. They do not let someone else's storm disturb their inner weather. When you stop providing the emotional fuel, the drama eventually looks for a more willing participant, and your life grows quieter and more your own. 10. They are comfortable alone. Many people are afraid of silence and of their own company. They fill every gap with noise, screens, plans, and obligations, so they never have to meet what rises in the quiet. In that silence, the avoided fears, the unresolved questions, and the stories that no longer hold up tend to surface. High-energy people do not fear solitude. They seek it. They understand the difference between loneliness, a painful sense of lack, and solitude, a chosen fullness. Time alone is how they recharge, listen to themselves, and recalibrate. Because they do not need other people to escape their own thoughts, their relationships become cleaner. They choose connection instead of using people as a distraction from themselves. That shift, from neediness to genuine preference, is magnetic. 11. They know how to say no. Every yes is also a no to something else. When you say yes to the draining invitation, you are saying no to the quiet evening that could restore you. When you say yes to the extra obligation that isn't yours, you are saying no to the work or the people that actually matter. When you say yes to the person who only takes, you are saying no to your own well-being. High-energy people treat no as a form of protection rather than aggression. They understand that a person who says yes to everything eventually cannot give a real yes to anything because their energy is spread too thin. Learning to decline without excessive guilt is one of the fastest ways to reclaim authorship of your days. The people who truly value you will respect the boundary. The ones who punish you for protecting your energy are revealing that they were never meant to have permanent access to it. 12. They know their why. All the previous qualities are powerful tools, but without a directing purpose, they can still leave a person drifting. Even the strongest ship needs a compass. High-energy people have found a reason that lives underneath their daily life. It does not have to be world-changing or dramatic. It might be providing a real future for the people they love. It might be becoming excellent at the work they do. It might be creating something that reaches others. It might simply be becoming a wiser, more compassionate version of themselves over time. The specific content matters less than the fact that a genuine why exists. Purpose is the quiet voice that says, keep going on the days when motivation has disappeared. A person with a clear why is not a leaf blown around by every wind. They are a tree with roots. The branches may move, but the trunk holds. 13. They treat life like a game. Finally, they refuse to approach life with crushing seriousness. They take responsibility, but they do not take themselves so seriously that every mistake feels like a final judgment. They know they will win some and lose some. When they fall, they get up, brush themselves off, and continue. Mistakes are treated as information, not as proof of fundamental failure. Most people live as though every moment is a high-stakes exam. They cannot afford to fail. That pressure consumes enormous energy. The player's mindset is lighter. It accepts the rises and falls as part of the design. It focuses on playing well with what is available right now, while still remembering to enjoy the process. This stance is a form of quiet liberation. These 13 qualities are not fixed personality traits. They are skills, and skills can be trained. You do not need to master all of them at once. In fact, trying to do everything simultaneously usually leads to doing nothing deeply. Choose one, just one. This week, take a single concrete step toward living it more fully. Protect one small ritual that fills you. Walk around one complaint swamp. Ask a better question of a difficult situation. Release one old weight a little further. Return to your breath once more often than usual. Real change does not begin with watching. It begins with what you do the moment the watching stops. The people who light up rooms did not arrive there by accident. They decided their energy was worth protecting and directing. You can make the same decision. The capacity is already inside you. The work is simply to stop leaking it and start generating it on purpose. The game has already started. Now, play it with intention.